I'm going to do the Imperfect Life Tag, and this is something that Sam tagged me in, and it couldn't have been better timed. If you're on my Facebook, then you know that I have a little bit of life's imperfections going on currently, and it's kind of meshed. The mucky muck has meshed into my YouTube la la land. I don't really want to have this be a place where I sort of dive into the grit of life, because this is a hobby and I want it to be, you know, my happy hobby. That's why I seem so bubbly when I'm doing vlogs, because it's my happy hobby. It's what I enjoy, and it's mostly about my baby, which I really enjoy. So, but every once in a while it's appropriate for a little muck to come in, and that's okay. We'll do some like spring cleaning right before autumn. You guys know that I had stitches on my lip, and the stitches have been taken out now, and for the first time I can say thank you, Flip, for being absolutely crappy with your blurriness and random like beams of light and washed out things that it does to me, because I'm pretty sure you guys can't see, there's a mirror here, you can't see the little scar that I still have left. So the basic idea is that I had a scar on my lip that was changing after I had the baby. By the way, my hair is wet because I took a shower and baby's sleeping, so I figure do the video, crack on with it while she's sleeping. Crack on, like Louise would say. My scar changed after having the baby, and I thought, well, that's irritating, so I went and saw a dermatologist, and they said that ultimately it was a symptom of a bigger autoimmune disorder going on inside my body. So now I have a lot of experts and specialists to see, and to make sure that I am on the low end of the spectrum of the disorder and what it can do. On the higher end, it will really affect my life for the rest of my life. On the lower end, I will be aware of it for the rest of my life, but have it pretty well managed. So I don't really want to go into it much more. You can add me on Facebook if you're interested in seeing what I updated about that a while back. But please note, you are not required to add me on Facebook, because I update that thing like gangbusters. So if you don't want bits and clips littering your news feed, then don't add me. I won't be insulted, I promise. Alright, so that's that. Now this Imperfect Life Tag that Sam just did is really good timing. I figure might as well get that out of the way and then go on and talk about this as well. So since this is my 99th video, and Ryan's going to be doing the 100th video someday you guys will see that. It's a little slow going. But when he does it, be like, yay Ryan, you're so pretty, or something, so that he wants to be in more vlogs. Good on you, Ryan, that kind of stuff. The way this tag works is you're supposed to say 2 struggles you've been through, and then the positive outcomes and personality traits that you attribute or accredit to the struggle that you have now overcome. So I'm just going to say 1. You know how I yammer on. And at the very end of this, Louise, I know you're watching, and Sam, I hope you're watching since you tagged me in it, we're going to conference at the end. So you two can skitter off to the end. Is this way you skitter? And meet me there, and let's conference. I have things to say to you girls together. Alright, so new subscribers, please don't watch this as your first vlog. Please, oh please, oh please. Go watch something else instead, because this is like a bit of a downer, and that's not the way I usually roll. Go find something else on. Go find my baby. She's cute. Go watch her. On with the show. So, I am going to talk about one big struggle that I have gone through, and I'm not going to answer a lot of personal questions about this because it does affect other people, and I feel it's just important for me to share my story. So in the comments, let's keep it positive too, okay? It's a happy place. Let's you know, trudge forward. Here we go. When I was, let's see, almost about 10 years ago now, I was in a very different place in my life. I was in a relationship with a different boy. Scandal. No. I was in a relationship that was pretty serious, and we were really intertwined in each other's lives, and we had been together for years, and he was a good guy, but not the right guy for me. And I think I was kind of going out of the phase, like in high school, where you really want the dramatic relationship, to realizing that what I wanted for my future and for family and children and stuff was different than that. And so we really had to untangle ourselves amicably, and it was just not a good thing. So when we split up, I parted with all of my friends as well, because all of my friends were his friends after that many years. So I really had to, peel myself away. Now, the reason I'm mentioning that is because I want you to know that I didn't have very much friend support in this time. Also, I'm an only child, and that's important to note because I didn't have brothers or sisters or anyone to turn to when this happened. I have come from a family of strong women. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, my aunt, my mom, and then I had some, extended family as well, but that was my core. Those women, we would come together to my grandmother's house on Sundays and do the Sunday crossword puzzle. They would do it, I would watch, and they would just trudge through it. So I keep saying trudge. It's because we're in a downer video. I feel like this is a bit trudgy. They would get through the Sunday crossword so fast, and they were just lovely. Somebody would break out into some song from the 40s, and then everybody would sing along with it, or an old commercial jingle, or some goofy song by Stan Borison. If you are Norwegian, you might know who that is. And it was just a really positive place for me in my childhood, was surrounded by these women. I love them to death. Christmases, holidays, Thanksgiving were these women. That's what it was. Spending time with them, their traditions, all the glitz that comes with those holidays was just brightening the warmth that I felt with those women. So about 10 years ago, nearly, in a very small amount of time, I lost all of them except for my mother, and about a year, maybe two, before I lost all of them, my mom was diagnosed with the illness that she suffers from. So remember, I don't want to answer questions about specifics because that's their lives, and I want to be sensitive to my family, just talking about how it affected me. So in that time, I lost my very serious boyfriend, my entire family, gone. The rest of the family was destroyed based off of the loss that we all suffered at the same time. So I was left with just my mother, and my mother, I've talked about it before, is not well. So she's not the same mom that I grew up with. She's not the, the loving, supportive mentor person that, she wants to be, but she's going through a lot of treatments and medications and things that she's just not herself. I get little glimpses of it, but not very often. So being in that place, I was extremely alone, and I had no, brothers or sisters to help me sort through the wills. I was an executor of an estate that my mom was supposed to be the executor of the estate for her younger sister who had passed away, and she couldn't handle it at that time because of her treatments, and so I had to take it on and divide up estates and properties, and it was just an extreme mess. And when you're mourning and dealing with lawyers and having to sort things out with family, I just would never want to do it again. And I am a big advocate for people having more than one child so that they don't end up in that place. Not like that would happen to everyone, but it's just not worth it. I never wished I had brothers or sisters more in my life. So going through all that, one day, I don't think everybody had passed away yet, but they were on their way out. I knew that everyone was going to be gone. I knew that Christmas was going to be really nothing. There was nobody to celebrate with, so it was just another day that year for me. I went into the back of my grandmother's house, and I went into a room that nobody was in, and I was angry, and I looked up at the ceiling, and I said a prayer. Now, this isn't going to be a preachy vlog or anything. I'm just telling you my story, okay? So it's okay, don't worry. I actually yelled at the ceiling. I wasn't very kind. And I said, get me to a church. I don't know how you're going to do it because I'm alone and I'm not going by myself. I need somebody. I need support, and I don't know where it's going to come from. You got to do it. And then I walked out of the room. I didn't put my hands together and bow my head or say even amen at the end. It was just like a, stick it to you, fix this. I'm broken, fix it, kind of a prayer. Now, I did not grow up in a church. I did not grow up praying, really. I didn't grow up reading a Bible. We had a Bible, and my mom would say when there was trouble, well, you should pray about it. But beyond that, I didn't really have much of a strong faith base. It's just sort of spiritual, So the next day, my mom happened to be feeling a little bit better that day, and she said, "Hey Marie, did you know that the place where we used to buy our Christmas trees is now a church?" And I went, "Oh." And she said, "Do you want to go this Sunday?" The very next day she said that, after I yelled at the ceiling. And I was stunned and a little bit bitter because I didn't want to go. I didn't think it was going to really happen, but I thought probably best to go. So I did. And on that day, we walked into the church, sat down through part of the sermon, and then my mom started to take a turn, and she wasn't really thinking she was going to make it through the rest. So I think I walked out to get her a glass of water or something. And I ran into a girl that I knew when I was 11 years old. And she had always been raised a Christian, and she had even taken me to a Christian camp one year that I thought was very fun, even though it was a total fish out of water there. You know, like, I came from a family of rebellious people in the 70s kind of thing, and these girls at this camp all came from, like, you know, the 2.5 children household with the golden retriever and the white picket fence. But I loved it nonetheless. I sang the Kumbaya Jesus songs and thought it was fun, and I think I even drew a picture for Jesus and pinned it to a tree because I was 11. But she and I ran into each other. She hugged me and said, "I'm so glad that you're tall," because she was tall too, and we reconnected in that moment. And that is my dearest B, who you guys have seen in some videos and I've talked about. She connected me into the church immediately. We are now going on nearly 10 years later, and I'm still there. My entire circle of friends and all of my support and all the wonderfulness that is my life now is a credit to the fact that I went to that church that day. So the reason why I'm bringing it up sort of this way is, if you can go back and look at me in that moment, that little girl, you know, I was older, but felt like very much like an alone, lost little girl. Not going to cry. I thought there was no point. I really thought, what is the point of loving anybody? What is the point? They're going to die. I was kind of doomsday in that moment. And I really felt like the rest of life was just a big scary burden of watching more people die. I also felt like there's nobody here for me. I have no sisters or brothers. I have no family that I can relate to. I have nothing. And my mom is not well, and I have to take care of her for the rest of her life by myself. I thought, there's no more family for me. I don't get to ever be the granddaughter or, you know, the daughter again. I don't ever get to be the one to lay my head down on someone. I now have to be the matriarch. I have to have my own children, and we will rebuild, kind of an attitude. And that really, I hated that. I wanted to, feel like I could have support too, not just be the supporter. I know these are extreme thoughts, but this is just the way I felt then. You take that little girl and look at everything that I felt and saw, and the loneliness that I was, you know, in that time felt like I was made of loneliness. I now am at the happiest point I've ever been in my life, and I can appreciate and not take things for granted in such a different way and perspective than I ever could have if I hadn't gone through that experience. I miss my family so much. If you've seen my nursery tour, the pictures of them are in there. It's the very first thing I put in that room when I found out I was pregnant, was a picture of my family. I really have a hard time handling the fact that they'll never meet my daughter. They would have just adored her. But if you've been following me for a while, you do know that Scarlet has an amazing family that just pours love on her. So, I in that time learned that I needed to make a new direction for myself, you know, going into the adult world, and it was kind of a shock and sort of twisted me this way. I also learned that I needed support from, you know, a boyfriend that I was going to be with very differently than the support that I saw from the boyfriend I was with at the time. And this all has led me to this church, which ultimately led Ryan to me, because he and I have a very interesting story of how we met. I'll tell it someday, but I've obviously babbled too long to stick it in here. And the gist of it is that we wrote letters to each other, and he eventually just happened to say that he was planning on visiting this church, and it was the church I had been attending for, at that point, about 2 or 3 years. And in that, you know, we met, we still go to that same church, and we have not only our huge extended friends group, which we consider and call our family, they all know that, and we celebrate holidays and stuff together and have our own traditions with our friends now. But I also have his family, which they have scooped me and my mother up, and it's not even as if they treat us like family. It's as if they treat us like we've always been there. My mother-in-law, Nancy, is the best mother-in-law anybody could ever ask for. We talk every day on the phone. She comes over here 2 or 3 times a week. We used to even go to a workout class together. My sister-in-law, Ryan's sister, she's just absolutely wonderful. My voice is a bit shaky because this is emotional. This is my big, life deal. So I have Ryan's grandparents, who there's never been more amazing grandparents on the planet. I mean, they danced on cruise ships for their living, and they owned a travel agency, and they've traveled around the world, and they do Lindy Hop, and they're just amazing. And they're still married and in love, and he plays her the ukulele in the morning with the coffee he brings her. I mean, really, seriously, they're amazing. So Christmas is a happy time. And now I have to have my little girl, and I get to bring some of the traditions that I had with my grandmother, my aunt, my great-grandma, and my mom into this house. My little house is a happy home. My husband and I are crazy in love, and we've been married for 2.5 years and together for almost 5. And I am extremely blessed. So the big thing that I've taken out of that experience of losing everyone all at once was that I wasn't alone. Now this part sounds a little bit preachy, I do understand that, but it's just how I feel. I now know that no matter what I get put through, no matter what I see, I'm not alone. I am cared for. Sorry. Because of my faith, I have that. And I've never been happier in my whole life. So, deep breath. Yes. I know you guys can tell that I am blessed. I have a pretty sunshiny little existence. It is little, but it's wonderful, and it's through no doing of my own. I've really been taken care of. Okay, so that's my imperfect life. On to my Sam and Louise thing. So if you are not, who I tag from here. I'm going to tag Dearest Meg and Subfertile Frugalista. And by the way, I feel like she deserves more views. She has a really popular blog, but her vlog doesn't get that many views, and she always does giveaways and everything. Ooh, wait. No, don't go watch her. I have more chances for me to win the giveaways. If you add her, then that lessens my chances. Never mind. She's awful. Flee. Don't go that direction. And I'll also tag Crystal, MrsFineFettle, because she's my friend, and I want to. Okay, that's that. Thank you for listening to me, you guys. I'm sorry if it came off a little intense. On to the 100th video with whatever Ryan does. Remember, support the man. He's never done it before. Watch it be amazing. I'll just feel like an idiot because I do this. And for Louise and Sam. Okay, goodbye everybody else. You two stay here. Are you here? All right. I feel like this is the perfect opportunity, since Sam tagged me in this tag, and Louise, I know you're watching this, for you two to meet each other. I just realized that all the girls I really feel a kindred spirit to have lost their mothers. And I know I haven't lost mine, but I've in a way I have, and I think you guys kind of understand that. So she's still here, but she's a very different person now, and she's more dependent on me. She's not, like my mommy. I miss my mommy. So now I'm gonna cry again. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You guys need to know each other because you have a million zillion things in common. Going through them fast. You are both mommies. You both have babies within a couple months of each other. I think they're 2 months apart because Phoenix is the same age as Scarlet. And you're both from England, Louise still being there. You're both beauty gurus. You both have the same spark to you. There's the same sparkle in your eye, and I think that has to do with you having wonderful mommies that you guys now get to treasure and hold on to. So emotional. You both lost your mothers in the same way, and then immediately after went through some big traumatic event. So I want you guys to meet each other. Oh, you both even can shorten your name down to 3 letters. Lou and Sam. I'll put it on a tree in a heart, like Lou plus Sam, and then I'll be the dividing I'll be the glue. I glue the heart together. Come meet, heart. Ting. Oh, there's so much more too. I know there's more that you guys have in common, but I just want you to meet each other. So Sam, I want you to watch Louise's A Serious Moment video because it's very similar to the video that Louise, I want you to watch of the tag that Sam just did for the Imperfect Life. Sorry, the phone is ringing. I should go now. Suppose that's all? Is that all? Yes, it is. Okay. See everybody at my 100th if you stuck through this. Thanks. Bye.